Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland and today I have a mini album to share for Hip Kit Club. I'm using the July kits. I've made a couple of layouts with them already and then this is my third project, but this is quite a big project, so I've suddenly used a lot of my kit. I have decided that, very not in keeping with the summer theme of this kit, that I'm going to make a dinosaur mini album. Now you can see that I just roughly drew a dinosaur onto a piece of copy paper there. I actually didn't do it particularly well. I ended up using a sheet of paper that had a bit of a tear in it already. So I have there's a little nick out of my dinosaur shape. My daughter looked at me, she was like, "Mummy, why didn't you use a full sheet of paper?" I was like, "Oh, good question. I don't really know. I didn't think my design would end up over that part of the paper." But anyway, here it is cut out. So I've just drawn that onto a piece of paper and cut it out so I can use it as a template. So I've drawn this dinosaur. I have now just cut him out. You can see that my dinosaur is just like a big humpback dinosaur at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what species of dinosaur this was supposed to be, possibly a brachiosaurus, but they have really, really long necks. So this one has a neck that's way lower. I basically copied the basic shape off of a image I saw on Google, and I thought that was the easiest one for me to draw, so I went for that. But I'm not sure it's recognizable as a dinosaur. And my daughter, while I was making this, who was sitting with me, full of helpful comments, said to me, "Mummy, it looks like a turtle." So I was like, right, okay, so I'm definitely going to have to make it more dinosaur-like. Okay, so here I have cut out two of my dinosaur shapes, my two basic dinosaur shapes. And I have cut one from the blue kind of almost paisley pen paper, and another one from the green. Now the green is a little bit tricky because it is a green pattern on a white background, so therefore it's slightly tricky to use. The blue one is a tone on tone, and I find those much more easy to use. So I've decided that the blue one's going to be my front cover. I could have done the back cover in the same, but as I had enough paper, plus I have two sheets, so I definitely have enough. But I wanted to have a bit of variety, so I decided to go for the green one. Okay, so now I have to make the inner part of the album. So at the time I set out to do this, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to achieve the binding of this album. And in the end, what I've decided to do is create almost like a little pocket. So I'm going to cut an inner part of the album, and I've just followed the basic shape of the hump of the dinosaur. There you go, you can see that, and now I have like a semicircle. And then I'm going to score the bottom and fold it so I have a semicircle with a bottom section, a tab. And I'm going to have two of those, and they are going to sit inside the album, be stuck to the inside of the covers, and then the tabs at the bottom of these two semicircles will overlap each other and become the base of my album. And then I'm hoping to create some sides, and then everything will sit inside this little kind of big pocket, effectively, that I've created. So there you can see that I've got that coming together. I just wanted to draw myself a template of the semicircle prior to assembling this section so that I could use it later, because I want my pages to be the same shape, and they're going to sit inside this shape. There we go. That is the little inner part of the album getting there, almost complete. And so I'm going to stick those to the inside front covers so that my dinosaurs sit either side of my front cover. There you go, you can see how that's working there. Then I can add the sides on, and then I can put all of my pages inside the dinosaur. So that's looking good, and it even stands up as well. Although now, his feet are buckling a bit under the weight of the rest of the album. So I either need to reinforce his feet with something or get him off his feet, give him a rest. Right, so now I'm working on the side section. So I decided to do a little concertina, which I've just concertinaed a strip of paper, and I've gone 1/4 of an inch score lines, and then I've just folded backwards and forwards, and then I've ended up with long tabs at one end and long tabs at either end, so that I can then stick those inside the album. I didn't want to only have a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch tab to stick because my adhesive isn't that brilliant. It's kind of repositionable, so therefore it won't hold together an album particularly well. I should really invest in some of that really super strong red tape, but I never got on that well with that either. So I'm just sticking to the ATG, and mostly I would sew these kind of things in place if I could. Now, I'm making this on holiday, so I'm actually away in a completely different location abroad. So obviously I couldn't take my sewing machine with me. Although, very excitingly, we've just bought a place over there, which means, obviously I have my priorities really right here. It just means that I can now buy a sewing machine and a silhouette machine and leave them there. How exciting is that? So I'll be able to have full access to those machines every time I go on holiday, which will be really, really fabulous. Anyway, that's a little while off because the sale's not gone through yet and we have to do some building work, so it'll be a while before I'm set up over there, but yeah, looking forward to maybe a whole summer in the sun next year. Okay, so you can see that I have my little concertina sides and I'm just kind of building up that section there. I've just going to sort of kind of attach it together with another strip of cardstock. So I've just used the dark blue cardstock that was in the July colour kit. No, not colour kit. Cardstock kit. The colour kit's something else. You'd think I'd know this by now. And there you go. You can see that it's coming together nicely. And I can now stick that together. I have that's kind of like the inner part of the album. And I can then stick that there. Excellent. Fine, that's looking really good. I'm really happy about that. So you can see that my album is about 1.25 inches thick. Obviously what happens every time I'm making a mini album is it's not big enough. So actually later on I end up taking the entire thing apart and remaking the inner part of this album to make it much wider. So if the end result looks bigger than this, that is why. Because it didn't fit. It's had a bit of a battering because of travelling home from holiday. So I had to do some repairs when I got home because it travelled home in my suitcase in the hold. So it's a little bit delicate and it's still a little bit out of shape. So I'm not quite sure how to reinforce it and fix it again. So I'll have to have another think about that. But had I not have taken it in a suitcase, it probably would have bared up quite well. While I was away on holiday, it sat on the desk for a week and was perfect. So yeah, it's a shame that it got a bit of a beating on the way home in the suitcase. Right, so you can see that I have my little pocket there, I have my dinosaur either side, and I'm now going to have a look at making some internal pages. So I'm thinking that I initially thought that I would use the pocket life cards, but they didn't fit on my semicircle, no. So, some of them would have done, but it wasn't ideal. So instead of using the pocket life cards, I've chosen this sheet of paper, which is so awesome. Look at how beautiful that is. I'm lucky that I have 2 sheets as well, so that I could get more out. And actually, I've started off by just cutting or just drawing around that template and just cutting around those as they are. So at the moment they're just semicircles, and you'll see in a moment that I do move. I think I do it on camera. Is that I move on to cutting out some more, but doubles. Does that make sense? So that they are. I've drawn around the semicircle, folded it down, and then drawn around it again. So I have a really large oval or egg shape. And those have turned into fold down pages, and they're really lovely. So I don't know if I do that on camera, but certainly I started off with these just singular pages that I was going to just have as individual cards, but in the end hardly any of them are individual cards, just one, I think. And then on the others I've made little booklets, or I've made these fold down pages that you'll see soon. Okay, so after the turtle comment from my daughter, I decided to make my dinosaur more dinosaur-like. Off camera, I drew one of those spines shaped. You can see my little template up there with the semicircle template and on top of the hexagons. Can you see my little spine template there? And I drew it several times onto the same paper I've used for the inner pages. Then I've cut them all out and I stuck them individually on the back of the dinosaur shape. And then, of course, I had to back it later with white to reinforce all of it. But yeah, so I just stuck those in place, and then I actually stuck the whole thing onto white cardstock and then sewed around with hand stitching. I sewed around the whole dinosaur, including all of the spines. And he definitely looks way more like a dinosaur than a turtle now. Definitely much more identifiable now as a stegosaurus, right? I think that's the one. My dinosaur knowledge is not too high, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is, ish. Maybe it's a hybrid. Anyway, so now I want to make my front cover. So I've created another semicircle to go on the front, to go in his hump, and I've cut it from white, and then I've cut a border in like orangey, pinky colour as well. That just layer those on top of each other, and then I'm adding the words Zoorassic Park to that middle section. That was the name of the dinosaur exhibit that this album is about. I've stuck those in place using those amazing pink alphabets. I'm just in love with that pink alphabet set. It's gorgeous, and the orange skinny ones as well. I love those both. They are really a bit of me. I'm also going to sew through those with the sewing machine, although I have to do that when I get home from holiday. So when this video finishes, it's still not sewn, but you'll see in the flip through that it is sewn. I'm just adding some green and blue pieces, top and bottom of the front cover there, so that they're poking out from behind the white section that says Jurassic Park. I've got little palm leaves in there. I've got the darker flowers from the Build a Bloom set. I've got one of the doilies. I've got puffy stickers. Yeah, I'm just getting all of those stuck in place, and then I can put that on there. I always think, whenever I think of dinosaurs, I always think of foliage. I always think that they're like, I think it's probably from the Jurassic Park films that I see them, poking through the trees, and lots of leaves and lots of foliage around. So I always think of foliage when I do dinosaurs. So I wanted to get lots of flowers and leaves and things onto this album. So that's why I went for those decorations that I went for there. Just got a little circle piece of ephemera there that says "Let's go." I took my little boy and my daughter to see this dinosaur exhibit, so yes, we were on the go a lot. Then at the bottom it says "So happy." Right, I'm going to finish here, and then I will switch over to a flip through of the finished album. Okay, right, so here is a little flip through of this completed album. So we have the front cover, which you can see I added all of the stitching around the spines, and I have flowers. I've added machine stitching through the title here and here, yeah, that's pretty much my front cover. And then inside we have got all of the pages. So over there, we have just this little one here where we just have a single photo and one of those beautiful doilies, and then just journaling on the back. And the next one is a fold down, so I just remove the little paper clip and
fold down to reveal a couple of photos and some journaling on there. And I have just a journaling card like that, which is nothing, just has journaling on the back, just the wood veneer on the front. And this one, which is a little fold out like that, and to have a photo, another photo there, stitching, yeah. Then I have this little one here, which is a shaker pocket on the front, so just remove the peg and that will fold down to reveal little photos in there and a title, but these photos also slide up to reveal some extra ones and some journaling under there. Then this one here is another one that opens out like that, and then it's just decorative in here apart from this piece here, which just undo to reveal some journaling there, and then it opens up to reveal a really long, lots and lots of photos there. There we go. So that just sits in here. I just put some machine stitching here and on this flower, so it will just kind of hold that in place. It's not like hugely secure, but it will do. And then the final card or little page is this one here. It says Wild Ride, cut from a journaling card. Remove the little clothes peg, and again it folds down. Under here I have several photos in this little pocket that I created here, cut along the natural line of the pattern on the card, and there's all my photos in there, and there's photos on the back as well, and journaling on the back of that one. And that's it. All done. And they all sit inside this little dinosaur like this. He's a bit delicate. he's been through a lot. but there we go. I might need to make this a little bit stronger. But yeah, there we go.
Okay, so that's all finished now. I hope you have enjoyed seeing that flip through. And here are a few photos of the album, a couple of different angles there, and then of the internal pages as well. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this album. I really enjoyed making it. I love mini albums, and it was great fun to make. Don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price, 15% discount on all the add-on kits, and access to exclusive cut files as well. So thank you very much for joining me today. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.